Hello, welcome to Tuesday's tarot tutorial video. Today I would like to talk about the tarot cards that represent the 12 zodiac signs in astrology. I was inspired to make this video after I made the 3-part video series on what the planetary cards are in the tarot. I spoke about the cards that indicate the 7 classical planets, the outer planets, and the north and south lunar nodes. In this video, I will be talking about the astrology sign indicator cards and also bringing back a little info from what I covered in the part 3 video to elaborate a little bit more about the planetary cards. So first off, I want to show you the traditional sign indicator cards. So we have Aries as the Emperor, Taurus as the Hierophant, Gemini as the Lovers, Cancer as the Chariot, Leo as Strength, Virgo as the Hermit, Libra as Justice, Scorpio as Death, Sagittarius as Temperance, Capricorn as the Devil, Aquarius as the Star, and Pisces as the Moon. Okay, so this is the very standard series and traditional way of looking at the sign indicator cards. So secondly, I wanted to talk about the traditional planetary indicator cards. So here we have the Sun as the Sun, the Moon as the High Priestess, Mercury as the Magician, Venus as the Empress, Mars as the Tower, Jupiter as the Wheel of Fortune, Saturn as the Worlds, Uranus as the Fool, Neptune as the Hanged Man, and Pluto as Judgment. So I didn't really want to go into too much detail in this particular video about why these cards are actually associated with the planets and why the other cards were associated with the signs. It wasn't really my intention to go into detail and pull out and sort of extrapolate meanings from the images in each card, but I could possibly go into that in another video if you would like to. If you have any questions or comments, you can put them below. Alright, so like I just mentioned, although this is how the zodiac sign indicator and planetary indicator cards are traditionally read, I personally have a hard time with a few of these corresponding energies, so I interpret them a little differently in my readings. First of all, it's difficult for me to resonate with the Moon card as representing Pisces. I do see the High Priestess as more of a Piscean energy and the Moon as more of a Moon energy. I suppose they can be interchangeable since the High Priestess has a crescent moon here at her feet. I can see how that could be a lunar energy. However, the Moon has no indication of Pisces or the Piscean fish in the imagery itself. So I do prefer to use the Moon as the planetary indicator for the Moon and the High Priestess as the sign indicator for Pisces. Another issue that I have is with Mars being represented by the Tower. Although I can see how that energy applies because Mars is accidents and the Tower very much indicates that accident type energy, I do see the Emperor as Mars because it is the ruler of Aries, which the Emperor card is an indicator for. In that case, I like to see the Tower as representing K2, the south node of the Moon, which isn't actually a planet in astrology, but it does represent the energy of the card well, being that of detachment and this sort of severing energy. So likewise, I like to see the Devil as being Rahu, the north node of the Moon, which again isn't technically a planet, but it represents the energy of the card being attachment, which is the opposite of the Tower's signification of detachment. Now, if you use the tropical system of astrology, there are 10 planets. The Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto. Okay, so they all fit neatly into this traditional card system here. If you use the Vedic system of astrology, there are the 7 classical planets, which are the Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. But instead of Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto, we have Rahu and Ketu. So these 9 planets are known as the Navagrahas, which doesn't fit neatly into this traditional card system because it substitutes the Tower as Ketu from Mars and the Devil as Rahu from Capricorn, which leaves this extraneous card being the Fool, which I actually happen to like because the Fool isn't a number. It's card 0, which indicates spirit has not yet come into form as a physical thing yet. So I really have a hard time as the Fool indicating Uranus as the planetary indicator card, because Uranus is a physical planet. So substituting the Tower and the Devil for Rahu and Ketu, excluding the Fool as Uranus as a planetary indicator card. This isn't really anything that I have read in anybody else's sort of system. This is something that I have just sort of made up in my own personal system because I tend to gravitate more towards the Vedic astrology system. But either way, I feel like, you know, whatever tends to work for you. The last issue I have is not really an issue, but rather a preference, as Pluto being represented by Judgment. I actually prefer to use Pluto as the Death card. And really, I can see how this rebirth energy of the Judgment card would fit into the meaning of Pluto. But I tend to see Death as Pluto because it is more of a final, concluding type energy that straight up ends things. Plus, the Death card, as representing Scorpio, is the sign where tropical astrology has this outer planet Pluto rulership of Scorpio. So that tends to fit well. None of these are really wrong or right. They are just preferences, and whatever system seems to fit with you and your philosophy and style in which you enjoy reading the cards is what you should practice and use. It is interesting to note that all of the 22 major arcana cards represent something, either a planet or a sign in the tropical astrology system, which is the traditional way of reading the cards. We have the 12 signs plus 10 planets. So card 1 in the major arcana is the Magician. This represents Mercury. Card 2 is the High Priestess, which is the Moon. Card 3 is the Empress, which is Venus. Card 4 is the Emperor, which is Aries. Card 5 is the Hierophant, which is Taurus. Card 6 is the Lovers, which is Gemini. Card 7 is the Chariot, which is Cancer. Card 8 is Strength, which is Leo. Card 9 is Hermit, which is Virgo. Card 10 is the Wheel of Fortune, which is Jupiter. 11 is Justice, which is Libra. 12 is the Hanged Man, which again is Neptune. 13, Death, Scorpio. 14 is the Temperance, which is Sagittarius. 15 is the Devil, which is Capricorn. 16 is the Tower, which is Mars. 17, Star, Aquarius. 18, Moon, Pisces. 19, the Sun, which is the Sun. Card 20, which is Judgment, which is Pluto. card 21, which is the worlds, and it is Saturn, which is the outermost planet that can be seen with the naked eye, and it is the final card in the major arcana, other than the 22nd card, which is card 0, which is Uranus. So although card 0 doesn't really have a place, it still represents a planet. So as you can see, card 0 through 21 all have either a planet or a sign that they represent in the tropical astrology system. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this tarot tutorial. Thank you for watching, liking, and sharing my video, and for subscribing to my channel.